Hello. Hello, everybody. Hello, my dear friends. I hope that you all have been doing well. I realize it has been quite some time since I last made a video, and there were many different reasons as to why I was not able to film, nor was my attention on creating videos. I am trying to change that, trying to improve. We'll see. But one of the main reasons that I did not have the capacity to make videos was because I was working on my tarot deck. I had started this project in the summer of 2024, and I spent the majority of 2025 focused on working, painting, creating my tarot deck. And this is a really cute case that I crocheted myself. It's super soft, super soft. I thought that to kick off the first video of 2026, I would show you all what I have been working on, what I have created, and give you a little walkthrough of all the different cards, and we'll do a card pull or two at the very end. We'll see. My tarot deck is called Ella and the Star. Ella and the Star. And you'll see why it's called Ella and the Star in just a minute. So, this is our beautiful Ella. And Ella is a gnome fairy. She is part gnome and part fairy, as the name would suggest. And the deck revolves around her journey through the tarot, as well as her partner, her accompaniment, which is the star. And the star is representative of our spirit, of our dream, of what we hold close to us. That's very near and very dear to us. And so the entirety of this tarot deck and all of its cards, as you'll see, depict these two characters. One is Ella, and the other one is the star. And the deck, it is filled with very vibrant, really sweet watercolor illustrations, all very reminiscent of my own favorite children's stories I loved reading books like Madeline. I love Frog and Toad. I love all of books like Chrysanthemum or even Little House on the Prairie. And I just have always really enjoyed the soft vibrancy of children's illustration, especially children's illustration from that specific era and time. And I don't often see a lot of tarot decks that kind of have a more gentle and whimsical kind of interpretation. A lot of us who begin to learn tarot, we often have to do with pretty scary, sometimes very jarring imagery that can be difficult to learn when you're already kind of in an emotionally fragile or vulnerable state. But I love Ella. Like, look how cute that is. There's nothing to be afraid of there. And I took a lot of time and effort to really try and create and pinpoint the essence of every single card, every single meaning, what felt the most poignant and important to me to share, to come across. So like this is a really great example. The Seven of Wands, sometimes it's a little bit of a, there's a kind of hostile energy to the Seven of Wands, but I love this depiction because it still has a bit of that Rider-Waite-Smith feeling to it, with the wands reaching up to the person, with almost kind of like this attacking and accusatory energy. But instead of fighting back, I love that Ella, she rises above all of that hostile energy, all of that violence and these accusations, and actually she is with her star together, and there's a little bit of a tear because she knows that there's nothing she can really do for these people who don't really have their star with them anymore, who maybe are a little lost or a little misguided, but she sends this magic and she sends this love to them, and she really hopes that they can be better, that they can renew themselves, that there's hope for them, that they can find faith, find their spirit again. But she still is flying above, she's still moving on and not entertaining what they have to say. It is really important to me to be able to create depictions of all of these different, softer, more really gentle, palatable, maybe even. I don't know if palatable is the right word. I'd say approachable. Really approachable creations. I think that learning tarot can be a very beautiful and very lovely thing. But when the imagery is too harsh, when it's very hard for us to be able to understand and to be able to reach the true meaning of the deck and the cards and our own internal wisdom, then the tarot can be more harmful than helpful. So really, this deck is just meant to be a softer guidance, a softer help, a softer way for your intuition and your spirit to almost kind of whisper to you. This is another card that I love, that I took a lot of time to figure out how I could depict the devil in a way that was still very darling and still very sweet. But I love the way that this one came out. I almost cried. I think when I painted this one, if I didn't actually cry, it just felt super sweet and really true to what the Devil card means to me, which is not necessarily being entrenched and chained up by our vices and our evils, but it's really about looking at the shadow side and befriending the shadow and being able to take a really deep look at the parts of ourselves that are asking for our attention and asking for our help, that really just want us to give them tender love, tender embracing and care. Oh, so sweet. I love this one. Something that is particularly very unique, I think, to this deck is that the booklet, the guidebook that comes with it, it is actually a poetry book. So it's a book of poems with one poem per card that corresponds to the tarot, and it is meant to be kind of like a way for us to gain an idea, garner a semblance of what every card means, but it still has a bit of freedom and it has a bit of flexibility for every person to be able to interpret the true meaning of that card for themselves. And what I love about the poems in particular is that each card has kind of like one stanza of a poem. So depending on what your card pull is, if you pull 3 cards, you can combine 3 different stanzas of poetry together, and then that creates an entire poem that you can keep with you as a reminder. You can see if there are any parallels, if there are any really different, if there's any specific imagery that feels resonant for you. So that's something that is really special and I think very, very different. And all of the poems are written by yours truly. And the booklet, I bind everything together, I print everything and combine it so it is in a presentable and livable way. And the same thing with the deck as well too. So I do all of the printing in-house and I hand make everything. I always triple check all of the cards, see that you have all 78 of them, and really just this whole creation is like a labor of love, truly. I really wanted to be able to create a deck that feels like a storybook. And I'm going to just kind of shuffle the deck and see if there's anything that wants to come out this evening. But I really wanted this deck to feel like a fairy tale, and one of the reasons why the deck features Ella and the star as the main characters, and in every card you'll see Ella and you'll see the star, and that's because when I first started to learn tarot, I remember people telling me that tarot is all about seeing your own reflection in every single card. That story is you, and there's a common thread of a protagonistic or main character kind of feeling in all of the cards. We're actually meant to embody all of them. There's different parts of them within each of us, but I wanted to really have a deck that could showcase that and really be able to see, oh, there is a common thread, there's a common character, a common protagonist in every single card, and be able to weave the storyline together in a way that was really beautiful and is really darling to see all together. Like, even just seeing these 3 cards that came out just now, seeing them together is really, really sweet. So we have the Queen of Cups. Beautiful, beautiful Queen of Cups. I love this one. And with that, we have Judgment in the reverse. And we have the Two of Cups in the reverse as well. And this feels very interesting. I love the Queen of Cups. There is an emotional flow here with the Queen, and I love this depiction where she's holding the chalice, but it's floating right above her, so there is a bit of magic. And it reminds me that when we are in touch with our emotions on a regular basis and we learn about them, that we are even more able to be in flow with what arises and just let things pass through us. Let things arise, let things go, let things arise and let things go. And the Queen is so good at it. I think sometimes people have a tendency to interpret her as like a kind of like more emotional card, but when I see the Queen of Cups, it just feels like this oasis of really great emotional maturity. Not in the sense of controlling mature, but in the sense of she's so good at letting it go. She's so good at letting things flow. And she's just laying back on her throne, on her chair. She has her shoes off, one toe on the ground, on the earth, one toe in the water, and like this expression, I love drawing this because she is just totally and completely relaxed. Totally and completely allowing things to be. And it's kind of interesting to see this because I think the more we can embody the Queen of Cups energy, the more we might really be able to unlock more wisdom and more love. There's this kind of message of more ease wanting to come to the forefront because I think that there is actually more wisdom, more awakening that wants to arrive for us as a collective. There's more kindness, more community, more romance, if that is something that you're looking for. But when I see these in the reverse, it kind of is reminding me that there are things still brewing, that there are still things that want to come forward in their own time. And Judgment, particularly, I think always has a very specific message about resurrection, about time, about letting things revive themselves in the correct timing that they should, and to not force them. I love this depiction. I mean, I love all of them. I'm obviously incredibly biased. But this one in particular, the Judgment, she's just so darling. I love that she's just flying on this little cloud, and she has that trumpet from the original angel of Judgment, but in this depiction she is that angel. She's embodying that calling, that awakening, that opening, and it's so powerful that even the flowers arise, they grow however she likes, and they flourish all around her in the sky. So I think that there is more flourishing, there's more opening, more yeah, more wisdom. That's the word that's really coming for me. So I think that there is actually a lot for us to learn in this year, but I don't think that it's going to come from forcing. And this is a message for me too. I know it is, because if you're anything like me, you spent 2025 doing a lot of forcing, maybe too much forcing, maybe probably should not have been forcing as much as you did, as I did. But I like to see the Queen of Cups together and this judgment reminder of, like, you know, things have to grow in their own right time. And when they're ready, when we can be okay with things ceasing and arising and just allowing things to be, the more spaciousness actually there is for newness to arise and to really flourish. And that same thing goes with love. And the Two of Cups, oh my god, like, look how adorable this is. Isn't this the cutest thing ever? Oh my god. It's truly... The handfast energy is really, really important to me, I think, in this card. The Two of Cups, it's almost kind of even more romantic than the Lover's card, in my opinion. And so whenever I see the Two of Cups, it reminds me that this kind of love between people is what pours into a greater collective when we can love each other with so much depth, so much humility even. It's the word that's coming up for me, with really deep humility, with deep embracing, kind of really valuing the preciousness of human connection, or connection with earth, connection with other beings. That actually is what begins this shared flow. It's what starts the stream of greater love, greater joy, beauty, and wonder that outflows and outpours to the rest of the world. That feels really important. It feels like actually there's a lot of love, yeah, a lot of wisdom, a lot of love that will come through the more we can just let things be, that we can just not force so much, let things go, let the days unfold as they would like to. Other cards that we have are the Two of Wands and the Ten of Swords in the reverse. It really goes to show that I think those energies of openness and expansion will be able to show us that there's so much beyond what we know. The Two of Wands is traditionally a person holding a globe, right? It's about a person who is trying to expand their horizons and see what's beyond. But I love this Two of Wands in Ella and the Star, because what she's holding isn't necessarily a globe, but it's just the nebulous of her own spirit. It's just this cosmic star. In that trusting, being able to overcome deep suffering, deep heartbreak, teaching us what it means to overcome really harsh situations, situations that maybe felt really unbearable and really, really hard to overcome. But the more we have the trust and the openness and the expansion and the space, the more wonder there is to explore throughout whenever you're finding this, or throughout the rest of this year of 2026. But I think this is an energy that is beyond just 2026. So I'm going to read a few poems from the guidebook. I'm going to read the Queen of Cups And I will also read the Two of Wands. I think that'll be really magical together. So, correct you were to follow your heart. Queen of Cups gently agrees. She holds her divine love in hand, flowing steadily and purely with ease. Whenever you hesitate, pause, or worry, it's never the right choice to act in a hurry. Give yourself time to flow and to breathe. Your emotions are speaking to you always, but can you hear them if you so please? Ella's heart stirs. There's new places to explore. She ponders and compares, imagining new foreign shores. Yeah. There's newness. There's something on the horizon. I really feel this for sure, that there's something on the horizon, and we are overcoming this. We're overcoming any past hurts, any past pain. The more we have embodiment and trust, I think that we are right where we are supposed to be. I really hope that you enjoyed today's video, my dear friend. I'm really grateful to have you here, and I really hope that the messages today resonated for you. I can't wait to do more readings with this beautiful Ella and the Star Tarot deck in the future, and I'll also be back soon with more Reiki videos, mantras. I have a lot of different ideas of what I want to create. And of course, if you have any ideas too of what you'd like to see, please feel free to let me know in the comments below. Any support is always really appreciated. It really means a lot to me. So thank you so much, dear friend. I hope you are warm and safe and happy and well. And I will see you in the next video.